Hey, good day, good morning, and good evening to all the partners, Eltex users, or just technical people out there who tuned in to this overview webinar for Eltex third quarter and fourth quarter overview. My name is Alexey Maslov, and I'm a product manager for Ethernet switches, service routers, and video surveillance here at Eltex. I apologize for a bit of a delay this morning, but I have about a dozen, slightly more slides for you, and I'll try to go through this nice and quick. As you can see, we wearing sweaters here. It's getting colder in Siberia, so let's, without further ado, start the overview presentation. As usual, I'm going to kick off with the basics of any network Ethernet switches. We are quite experienced, and as usual, I remind that throughout the years we had developed a few lines of equipment. There is a ISS operating system that that is used on the basic L2 plus Ethernet switches, the 24, 34, and 37 series. These little bit more cost-effective ones, and for basic access, PoE access and aggregation, great choice. So I'm going to show what we have done in this area, as well as ROS operating system. So we gradually switching our focus from ROS 4 historic models to ROS 6. So we're not deprecating the older models. You may still count on some of the updates on those. But ROS 6 is what is the current operating system is run on those models. These models are full L3 with advanced routing capabilities models, and they have slightly different architecture, allowing us to offer Cisco-I command line interface. So these are more advanced and quite easy to get started with. So in terms of ROS 6, there are a couple of pieces of functionality that we have implemented in version 6.6.9. It had been released a couple of weeks ago, so you can already access it and get your devices updated. One piece of functionality is quite took us quite a while to get done. It's quite big, and it applies to all stackable models. Is non-stop forwarding L2, and it basically allows faster reboot of a switch within a stack. It significantly improves the time of reboot, and from what it used to be about 60 to 90 seconds, the downtime is going as slow as 1 second, 2 seconds at most. It is in line within our competitors, within our market standards. And yeah, the key of this functionality is basically that the during a reboot or of a crash of a control plane, the data plane stays active, and it keeps on switching the traffic based on the MAC table that was saved based on access control rules and based on saved VLANs. So there is also NSF L3 planned to be implemented. We started working on that, but it is due to be released towards the first half of the 2026. So second quarter, you may count on the version for early adopters for testing if you're interested in this functionality. So it basically similar thing, but it similar concept, but with routing not only switching, so it's operating with IP addresses tables and whatnot. As far as multicast goes on routers, we have PIM protocol implemented in VRF. It also available in this version. This functionality allows you to utilize multicast within virtual routing tables. So you may have basically more flexible and scalable way of multicasting split between virtual routing tables on the on a switch. There is a piece of functionality related to data center. It is called PFC and also available in the current version that is up for download. It is priority-based flow control, and the difference between the regular flow control that you may be aware of is that in case of congestion, a switch may communicate to the sender of the data using this what they call pause frame, and pause the data transfer in order to prevent traffic loss. So the data transfer will be paused, it will be kept in the packets will be kept in the memory of the sender, and when congestion disappears, it can proceed with traffic transfer. The reason it's called priority-based is that you can tell from the name, it's somewhat similar to quality of service, so it has a queue structure, and you can prioritize some types of traffic over other types of traffic. So the types of traffic like VoIP or video streaming that is when latency is crucial can be prioritized over not so important traffic, and this is a great improvement that we managed to push in 6.6.9 version. So it's available for ROS 6, so all the model lines that are in the title of the slide, you can get this and test it in your data center. There is a big chunk of work related to transferring some of the functionality from ROS 4 operating system to ROS 6. So these changes are not transferred. They basically cherry-picked. So certain features requested by our customers. So if you have something in the older switches and you want it some particular piece of functionality, the new one, contact us and we may port it to ROS 4. There were 16 tasks initially. There was scheduled 13, and we managed to do a little bit more in this release. Main features would be Cisco-like STP loop guard for preventing of creation of traffic loops for STP protocol, and there are also some changes related to radius and TechX servers, and these are for AAA, for authorization, authentication, and accounting, and partially related to the use of our management system, NICE, which I am going to talk about in a few slides. But yeah, we keep on doing this work and keep on porting functionality to get ROS 6 in line with ROS 4. As far as the goals for the next quarter, there are a few of them. I already mentioned NSF L3, aiming for the middle of 2026, and also MPLS L3 VPN is at the latest stages of development. There is not too far from being released as a stabilized version for early adopters, and you may know that this functionality is a service provider great feature, more for data center, and you'll be able to create to set up data transmission via MPLS tunnels. So it's level 3 VPN implementation of that. HSR and PRP protocols, there are redundancy protocols that are aimed, that are intended for our industrial switches. The implementation is ongoing. There are different types of these protocols, and we basically there is a software implementation of those and hardware implementation of the devices these protocols are intended for. They're going side by side, and we ran a little bit ahead with the software part, and we are now expecting the hardware devices to be available for testing this functionality that had already been implemented. So these models are going to cover in the next slide. They're not too far, so 3 new industrial switches models, and these protocols will be used in some of these for seamless redundancy, and further porting functionality from ROS4. There are a few tasks that we are planning on porting. You can count on to be included in the next release. And the hardware goals for the 4th quarter, for the end of the year, you can see there are quite a few actually, 7 models. I would like to highlight the one at the bottom. There is access model that's aimed for somewhat for the future, because it is designed for access points that have 10 gigabit Ethernet WAN port and PoE port. So this can be powered by Ethernet with 10G. So there are, I believe it has 12 of these ports, and we don't quite yet have this access points, 10 gigabit access points to offer, but you may count on them being available next year as well. As far as the data center switches go, there are 3 models that can be utilized, that can be used in super spine leaf, or just spine leaf architecture of the data centers. These are 400 gig, 100 gig, and 25 gigabit ports accordingly for the super spine, and leaf parts of the system, and all these either in the testing stage or in the initial batch stage, when we already have first units available for our early testers out there testing those equipment. Also, all the 35 MES 35 units are the industrial ones. These are to be mounted on the DIN rail, so DIN rail type of mounting, and there is a one of each kind, one for PoE devices, one regular 1G Ethernet, and one fiber model. So the details on this you can get from our releases. So I suggest you subscribe if you are interested on when these devices will be released. Subscribe to our newsletter. It's quite good. It's quite concise way of getting the news about new versions of the software and new devices, new equipment getting updated about all this news in your email box. This is it about ROS 6 operating system. In regards to the ISS operating system for this 24, 34, and 37 series, the main feature which we spent quite a lot of effort on was stacking, which was not initially supported by the devices, but was added on the software level this year, and we keep on perfecting it and adding features to this. So stacking improvements, there is not the full list, but there are VRP protocol implementation for stack, as well as IPv6 and RIP v4 v6 improvements. And quite important, now this equipment, this series of equipment, has better support in NICE. Again, NICE is our management system for user authentication and authorization. I'm going to talk about it in this presentation a bit later, but now DACL, dynamic ACLs, are implemented for this series of switches. All that is aimed to for version 10.4.4 at the end of this year. The next part is our service routers. Here, I'll be honest, we don't have as many news from the last update as I would want it, but there are still some features I'd like to talk about. I'm going to highlight two versions. Here is 1.37 that's already available for your devices to be upgraded on, and 1.40 aimed to the end of the year. So all these features going to be either going to one or another of these versions. So they either already available or going to be available at 26th of December. This is our aim for version 1.40. So first part is clustering. It is quite big, and it is the feature that we are implementing based on VRP protocol, version 2, version 3. So first announcement, and actually announced it in the previous webinar, is active standby 1+2 cluster. So it allows you to hook 3 units of ESR, one being active and 2 of them being on standby, with the synchronization of configurations in the background, and all the other benefits of stacking. And another part of work we've done in related to clusterization is getting cluster monitoring to our ECCM for our equipment monitoring system, and it's also supported when you upgrade to version 1.37. The next step would be getting active cluster. It's also VRP based, and it allows you to basically utilize the performance of the devices 100% by balancing traffic between 2 devices. Our end goal with this is quite advanced, getting a cluster of 4 devices with a mixed sort of architecture, 2 active, 2 standby, but this is something planned for 2026. You know that routers are mostly all about security, and this number of updates are related to security and to a new generation firewall. There are minor things like when it comes to authorization, authentication, and authority at AAA, we implemented the ability to remove default user accounts, something one of our customers requested in order to improve the security of our devices. And two-factor authentication is also related to improving and protecting the devices from unauthorized access by the users, and it's one of the features that already available. Other features had a bit of a delay due to stabilization phase, and are going to make their way for version 1.40. IPsec and the implementation of certificate authority for getting certificates for encryption. We also had some time implementing this, and it allows you to, unlike you used to need uploading, generate certificates elsewhere and manually upload this to the device. Now we are going to have a built-in certification authority allowing you to generate the certificates on the device, and it significantly simplifies the way of updating certificates and overall security. GeoIP, this is the feature that we had to redesign our initial approach to this. We had to review and change our plans on the implementation of this, but we are not. We're going to make it work in version 1.40 using slightly different architecture. It's quite a popular feature among our customers, and we want to make it available as soon as possible. And the idea behind it is basically allow you to filter and allow you to restrict the access to your network based on geographic location of the link, and this is to be released for initial testing towards the end of the year. Fail to ban, it is a feature against DDoS attacks, and basically allows you to ban a connection that unsuccessfully tries to log in multiple times. So it's quite self-explanatory, and probably here, minor updates to firewall also for the end of the year. More flexible rules, being rules by schedule. So it's good for scenarios where you want to restrict access based on time of day or days, when you're not allowing connection to the internet throughout the workday, and allowing the external connections after workday is over. So any schedule you can think of, it can be implemented using this schedule feature. As far as routing goes, QoS for MPLS feature, so similar approach of AQ priority structure, but implementation for MPLS routing is already available in version 137. Other two features are in the stabilization phase at the moment and related to multicast. BeamSM is multicast routing for sparsely distributed hosts for specific application of hosts that are not densely but sparsely present in the network. So it is improving the performance of multicast. And another multicast improvement is IGMP. It's a mechanism that allows hosts to subscribe for multicast streams and allows to avoid waste of bandwidth when you transferring data to only those hosts that subscribed for multicast. These will be available at the end of the year in version 1.40. And I already mentioned in this presentation management system. This is not something I covered in my previous webinar a couple of months ago, but I think it's worth covering them now. There are two management systems, being ECCM and NICE. ECCM being out there for a little bit longer. It has, I'd say, more rapid release cycle. You can see version 2.3 and versions 2.4 are just a couple of weeks away from one another, whereas NICE is a newer addition, and it's not even in version 1.0 yet, but it will be in the middle of November, and its release cycle is a little bit not as fast. So ECCM, you may or may not know that it's our management system for Eltex equipment, and it's not limited only by wired devices. It's also for our wireless access hotspots and controllers. And you can see the changes in the versions 2.3 we recently had released. I'd like to highlight our fault management system improvement in this one, allowing you to have more informative fault messages that can be formatted in a particular way that is valuable for your network administrators, and advanced search within this management system. So you can see network units by MAC address and by its description, which is quite an update and makes it more more user friendly to use the system. 2.4 version. One thing that is I'd like to highlight once again, that it's not only for switches and routers. We have a few changes related to our wireless equipment in this one. So if you're interested in trying this system and you have our wireless equipment, I would like to suggest getting a trial license to try it for Eltex, as well as some of the non-Eltex equipment. It's not fully integrated with third-party equipment, but basic things like showing network unit statuses and some of the basic information about these, as well as showing network map. It's capable of these features. NICE, our newer edition, is the tool that we use for users' authorization and authentication. Can be tested, and version 1.0 is soon to be released. I would suggest trying this especially in case if you have SIAM system in place, because 1.0 version is going to bring the integration with those systems, allowing you to negotiate user rights and send event notification, basically exchange the information within SIAM systems such as Splunk or QRadar. So if you're using this system, it is the bridge between our network equipment and the way for allowing access to those systems for user management. There are some other changes related to Radius and TechX servers, quite valuable for managing your users and your users' rights and their authorization in the system. This is all to do with management system, switches and routers. The last part of this webinar, after which I'll be able to answer your questions if you have any, is our video surveillance. Video surveillance are the cameras, controllers for access control, and our EVI platform. I'll start with our software first. EVI platform, our EVI as we call it. In the last webinar, I mentioned that our significant release was going to take place on the 20th of September, and it was done. 1.4 version had been released. It's out there for testing, as well as its documentation and datasheets, manuals. All this information is available for you to try this system yourself and offer it to your partners. This is our software solution that can be used instead of NVR, and especially for larger projects when you're talking about dozens and hundreds of cameras, and especially if you want to get access control managed by the same system as you have for your video surveillance. So it combines video surveillance, saving video streams, getting access to video archive, getting your security personnel equipped with screens with all the security cameras displayed on it, as well as access control that can provide security rules for entering your premises for people and vehicles. So our system is modular. There are 3 modules that take care of video surveillance, access control, and 1 module called analytics for advanced facial and number plate recognition features. Our versions 1.4.1 and 1.5 are those that we we worked on the 4th quarter. The 1.4.1 is the internal version that we likely not going to it's likely not going to be available for the public. The main, apart from all the stabilization work and minor improvement, one thing that stands out is that it supports external tablet devices. It makes it very intuitive, very nice to equip this with your checkpoints with these devices. So when you going through this checkpoint and scan your security card or using facial recognition feature, it's a nice way for the system to display whether it's recognized you, whether it's unlocked the turnstile or the door. So it shows this information about the status of the recognition and overall status of the system. And version 1.5.0, again, a lot of background work that you may not even notice, but it improves the compatibility with third-party equipment, third-party cameras, and some of the minor stabilization fixes, features and bug fixes. But features that I may talk a little bit more about would be non-access control, non-PAX visitors and vehicle lists support. So what it does is we used to have our access control based on whitelists. So you would need to get all the people who are allowed access to past certain checkpoints in the whitelists, and those who are not in the whitelist had to be registered as a guest in order to pass certain checkpoint. Now there is going to be non-PAX list allowing all the people or all the vehicles past this checkpoint without the need to be pre-registered. So there is no whitelist basis, but the system still runs at the background. So it still would do the recognition and try to find you if your face or number plate in the database. But at the end of the day, you'll be able to get this report of which vehicles passed this checkpoint, what number plates they had, what people at what time passed this checkpoint, and whether or not the system had recognized them. So it's not limiting people from accessing a certain checkpoint, but it's no longer based on the predefined whitelist. Another feature is PTZ controls. It had already been implemented in our desktop app for EVI Platform. Now it is available in the web interface at all, so you have a bit more flexibility as to where you can have these controls for managing your PTZ camera in either the browser or the desktop app. And last but not least, our hardware updates. I'll be honest, there is not much to mention from the last webinar. It's been just 2 months since last webinar, but throughout that time there are a couple of versions of software for the existing cameras, and version 1.10, the next one, is going to be available for upgrading your cameras. The current version on the website is 1.6, so 1.10 is quite an update that is planned to bring smart infrared. It's going to add the support for H.265 codec playback in the camera's web interface, which wasn't the case in the previous versions. We used to have this issue when users who had 265 codec wouldn't be able to play the video from the archive and would only be able to do this with H.264. Now we're going to fix that and some of the minor improvements. We keep on working on the hardware on the revision B of our existing 01 and 14 cameras, the bullet and the dome ones. The new revision is going to bring 2.1 to 2.7 inch image sensors, so more the bigger, physically bigger image sensor, thus improving video quality, as well as POI Mode B support. And as far as new models go, they are the models on the right side of the slide. They both at the same stage of first testing units available and the software being developed for them. But these units are different in the sense that the BA331, the vandal-proof camera on the right, is the one using our existing architecture, our chipset that's capable of doing WDR, whereas the varifocal camera, the BB341Z, on the left, it is the one that's going to bring new architecture to our camera lineup, and this camera is capable of true WDR and much more, significantly more advanced video quality with a wide dynamic range. So it's no longer software wide dynamic range, it's a hardware performed wide dynamic range, and this is partially the reason why we had to implement new architecture and more advanced CPU in this camera. So these are the software for this is at the development stage, and we are testing it on the prototypes of the 341Z camera. I would like to suggest if you are interested in any of the equipment in this presentation, flick an email to us requesting it for testing. Especially when it comes to software, it is much easier to get the software for testing because it's a matter of generating a testing license and sending it to you. So it's much easier to the hardware. If you need the hardware, it may be done through your local distributor or directly through us. So let us know and we'll get it sorted. So now if there are any questions in the comment section, I may as well address them. Could you remind when IPv6 features will be released for the 2434 series of switches? So I believe these are partially mentioned in this presentation at the very beginning of January 2026. When we have 10.4.4 version of ISS released. I'm going to have a look if all of the IPv6 features are going to make its way to that release, but there are definitely going to be some of these. Thank you, Ruslan, for your question. So far, so good. So thank you very much for your time. If you missed any parts of this presentation, the video recording is going to be available on this channel. And probably next webinar is going to take place at the beginning of the 2026. So have a great winter and talk to you later. Bye-bye.